Matte eyeshadow. This finish contains no shimmer, glitter, or reflective particles, creating a flat, non-shiny appearance. Matte eyeshadows are essential for creating depth and dimension in eye looks because they recede visually, rather than catching light. They work beautifully in the crease to add definition and are often used for soft, natural, everyday looks. Matte shadows also serve as transition shades that help blend more dramatic colors seamlessly. The finish photographs well and appears consistent in all lighting conditions, unlike shimmery finishes that can look different under flash photography. Matte eyeshadows have been makeup staples since eyeshadow became commercially available, though they experienced a particular surge in popularity during the 1990s minimalist beauty era, and again in recent years as natural makeup trends emerged. Shimmer Eye Shadow. This finish contains fine reflective particles that catch and reflect light, creating a subtle glow. Shimmer eyeshadows add brightness to the eyes without being overly sparkly or dramatic. They work well on the lid, inner corner, and brow bone to highlight and bring dimension to eye looks. The shimmer particles are typically finely milled, creating a smooth application that does not feel gritty. These shadows are versatile enough for both daytime and evening wear, bridging the gap between matte and more dramatic, metallic finishes. Shimmer eyeshadows became widely popular in the 1980s and have remained consistently favored because they enhance eyes without looking too bold or costume-like. Metallic eyeshadow. This finish contains densely packed reflective particles that create an intense, foil-like appearance. Metallic eyeshadows have a wet-looking, highly pigmented finish that makes eyes appear luminous and dramatic. They often have a creamy texture that applies smoothly and delivers maximum color payoff in a single swipe. Metallic finishes work beautifully for evening looks, special occasions, and editorial makeup. They became particularly trendy in the 2000s as bold eye looks gained popularity on social media. These shadows can emphasize texture on the eyelid, so some people prefer using a primer or applying them with a damp brush for smoother application and more intense color. Satin Eye Shadow. This finish sits between matte and shimmer, offering a soft sheen without obvious sparkle. Satin eyeshadows have a subtle luminosity that creates dimension while maintaining a relatively natural appearance. They contain very fine pearl particles that give a gentle glow rather than an obvious shimmer. Satin finishes work well for professional settings where shimmer might feel too playful, but matte seems too flat. They are versatile and flattering on mature skin because they add light without settling into fine lines the way chunkier shimmers might. This finish has been popular since the 1970s and remains a sophisticated option for those wanting subtle elegance. Glitter eyeshadow. This finish contains larger reflective particles that create obvious sparkle and texture. Glitter eyeshadows are designed for bold, festive looks and special occasions, rather than everyday wear. They come in pressed powder form, loose powder, or cream bases with suspended glitter particles. The larger particles create dramatic light reflection and movement. Glitter shadows require careful application and often need glitter primer or adhesive bases to prevent fallout onto the cheeks. They became particularly popular in the 1970s disco era and experience renewed popularity whenever bold, maximalist beauty trends emerge. Removal can be challenging and requires thorough cleansing to prevent glitter from spreading. Duochrome eyeshadow. This specialty finish contains pigments that shift between two or more colors, depending on the angle of light. Duochrome shadows create a multidimensional, color-shifting effect that appears almost magical. Common color shifts include green to gold, purple to blue, or pink to orange. These shadows work beautifully as accent shades that add interest to eye looks. The color-shifting effect is created through interference pigments or special coating technologies. Duochrome eyeshadows gained cult followings in online beauty communities during the 2010 and remain popular among makeup enthusiasts who enjoy unique, eye-catching effects. They photograph beautifully and create dynamic looks that change as the wearer moves. Pearl eyeshadow. This finish contains iridescent particles that create a soft, luminous glow similar to the inside of an oyster shell. Pearl eyeshadows offer more sheen than satin, but remain more refined than metallic finishes. They have a dimensional quality that adds light to the eyes while maintaining elegance. Pearl finishes work well for bridal makeup, professional settings, and situations requiring sophisticated, rather than flashy shimmer. The iridescent particles create subtle color shifts that add interest without being obvious. This finish has been popular since the mid-20th century and remains a classic choice for those wanting polish without drama. Frost eyeshadow. This finish has a cool-toned, icy appearance with visible shimmer particles. Frost eyeshadows were extremely popular in the 1980s and 1990s, creating the signature frosty lid looks of those eras. They often have a slightly chalky texture and deliver shimmery, light-reflecting color. Frost finishes can sometimes emphasize eyelid texture more than other finishes because of the larger shimmer particles. While they fell out of favor during the matte-focused 2000s, Frost eyeshadows have seen nostalgic revivals as retro makeup trends cycle back. They work best on smooth eyelids and create a distinct vintage aesthetic. Foiled eyeshadow. This ultra-intense finish creates a wet, almost liquid metal appearance on the lid. Foiled eyeshadows have extremely high pigmentation and light reflection, creating maximum impact. They are often applied wet with a damp brush or mixing medium to achieve the signature foiled effect, though some cream formulas deliver this finish without added liquid. The result is smooth, intensely metallic color that appears almost three-dimensional. Foiled finishes became popular in the 2000s as bold eye looks and cut creases gained traction. They work beautifully for evening wear, performances, and situations where dramatic eye makeup is desired. Velvet eyeshadow. This finish has a soft, diffused appearance that resembles fabric texture. Velvet eyeshadows are typically matte or have such fine shimmer that they appear almost matte while still having depth. They have a smooth, blendable texture that creates soft focus effects on the eyes. This finish works beautifully for romantic, ethereal looks and photographs exceptionally well because it diffuses light gently. Velvet eyeshadows became trendy as makeup technology advanced to create more sophisticated powder textures. They suit all ages and occasions, offering dimension without the potential drawbacks of obvious shimmer or completely flat matte.